So, hello everyone. Welcome to our conversation on sleep with Gleneth and myself. And my name is Rachel Balancet. I'm a regenerative health practitioner, clinical iridologist. I have a background in Ayurvedic, um, East Indian medicine, and I am just an overall scholar, researcher, and enthusiast for when it comes to health and nutrition. Because I started out very sick with Hashimoto's. I was sick for 9 years, and when I finally got well, all I wanted to do was help the world feel better. And so that became my mission. And so my whole career changed. I went from being a wedding photographer to a health coach. And then after getting well, then I started accumulating certifications in various nutritional related fields, regenerative health being the most recent one, and clinical iridology. So today's conversation is about sleep, and I have Gleneth here, my dear friend. Gleneth has suffered from sleep apnea, and I personally have suffered from insomnia. When I had Hashimoto's, sleep was a real issue for me. And they're very different issues. And so I want to start with just like going to Gleneth to talk about your experience with sleep apnea and what that is like and what it actually is. If you could maybe go a little bit into your experience, what it was like for you, how you realized you had a problem and what it actually is.
Yeah, it's not fun, I can tell you that. And Lord knows how long I had it. I know that a lot of my life I've always been struggling both with my weight and energy. Even when I was in very good health, or I thought I was, I just didn't have the zest I knew I should have. And anyhow, how I discovered I had it is I was living in Santa Rosa and going to a gym regularly and working out. And as you work out, you have to breathe deeper. You have to take in more oxygen. And it was almost like I was snoring when I was breathing in. I was. And anyhow, so I wanted to find out what that was. I went to Kaiser and they told me, well, we should do a sleep study. So we did that. And I realized that I had sleep apnea. And they said at the time I was stopping breathing 21 times an hour, which, that was the root of it. And I never even knew I had it because it doesn't necessarily wake you up. It just wakes you up from going into the deep sleep pattern. But what happens is your soft palate flops over and blocks off your oxygen, so you gasp. And I guess it wasn't ever enough to wake me up, but it still didn't allow me to get into deep sleep. So anyhow, I had at the time I had learned that, and I was trying everything imaginable. I hated the CPAP. I did a couple of surgeries even to clear out my nostrils and everything else, right?
Wow, you had
And
surgery. Holy cow, I did not know that part.
yeah, one of them, and I don't know the names of these, but was almost like a facelift of the throat or the mouth, where they would clear out any excess material, you know. And anyhow, those were incredibly painful. I didn't realize how sensitive the throat was.
Oh my God.
Um,
It must be like having your tonsils out.
yeah, I mean, I used to snore a lot, and that minimized the snoring, but it didn't get rid of the sleep apnea. So anyhow, I succumbed to the CPAP, which, if people don't know what it is, it's a mask that you got to breathe through at night, and that's horrible. God, it was I hated it, but when I used it, I did feel better. And at the time, I was working 50 and 60-hour weeks, and the combination of that, and I also had hypothyroid. I mean, I was just feeling really wiped, right? And it
Were
did
you
help.
struggling? You were struggling with weight as well at the same time? Like you had, can you talk about
Yeah,
your
I
weight
had
also?
yeah, I had 40 pounds extra and a huge gut. I hated that gut. And here I am sitting on the couch one day on my time off, and I stumble onto Rachel's post about, I knew her from the past from the arts, and I knew her to be trustworthy, or, I thought so. So she was posting about a new product she was doing that had helped her tremendously. So I said, oh, maybe I should look at this, right? And so I looked at, it looked pretty impressive. And like I say, I trusted her, and I just said, well, okay, I got to do something. So I jumped into it and started using the protocol. And the first thing I noticed was the drinks taste good. I couldn't believe it because I've tried green drinks and it didn't fit for me. I said, "Oh God, this does horrible," right? But anyhow, it really tasted good. So I found it really easy to just do the cleanse and the protocol, and I was losing like about a pound a day. And I was finding it fit really well. I could just take it to work and, take everything there, and I was sleeping better. I mean, I probably shaved an hour of my sleep needs off a night. And at the end of the month,
sleep. All of a sudden, you needed an hour less sleep a night.
yeah, it just kind of
Felt more
slowly,
rested.
and I started going, wow, I'm feeling better with less sleep, right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of that month, I was scheduled for a follow up on the sleep study. So I did that. And after 1 month, then what I learned is one, I had dropped 25 pounds total. And my gut just, I couldn't believe it. I shrunk 7.5 inches in my gut. So the follow up sleep study I did showed me one breath from normal. And I went, oh my God. And then I said, does that mean I still need the CPAP? One breath from normal, right? And they go, well, technically you still have it, but they said, based on where you've come from in 1 month, they said you could get off the CPAP. You should be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Right?
That's exciting. Wow.
So, yeah. And I looked in the mirror and that gut had shrunk so much, 7.5 inches is a lot. It almost looked like I had a 6-pack. And I'm going, oh my God. Right. So I just kept doing it. And my goal was 40 pounds, which I achieved the third month. And I was just feeling so much different. I was going, wow, this is wonderful, right? So I just kept doing it. The 5th month, I was slowly able to titrate back. I was on meds for hypothyroid. And I was, by the 5th month, I was able to get off those. And, it's just like, it seems like the longer you're on this, the better you feel in general, right? I've tried some of the products, but anyhow, my last sleep study, I did one about 2 years ago, said I had no incidences of stop breathing at all. And yeah, deep REM sleep, they measured the whole thing. So yeah.
Deep REM sleep. Let's talk about that for a moment, because not everybody knows what REM sleep is. It stands for rapid eye movement sleep. So when your eyes are moving back and forth, that is when you are in the deepest state of sleep. And the average person gets about 3 hours of deep REM per night. But studies have shown that on our 90-day protocol, that people actually get twice the sleep. The apothecary juice, which has naturally occurring melatonin, also helps with deepening sleep. And so that actually increases our REM to 6 hours. It doubles our REM sleep, which is absolutely phenomenal to be getting so much deep sleep. So that's amazing. So your gut shrank, your digestive issues went away, your sleep became normal, you stopped needing the sleep app machine, you lost 40 pounds, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lost
And
40
I've made
pounds in like your first month, basically, almost all of it in your first month.
the 40. No, that was by the third month, the
Okay.
25 first month. And then I met my goal. I just kept using all this stuff, even the full ultimate lifestyle transformation. I said, I don't know what happened, but I want to keep it this way, right?
Yeah, that was like what, how many years ago?
Over 9 years ago now. Yeah. And
Yeah, you were one of the first people I introduced this to. Yeah,
thank
super
you.
cool. Thank you. And now you're an artist and you teach, and you have lots of energy, and you're like really someone who has a lot of energy now.
Yeah, at 72, I've been doing work felling trees and a lot of heavy industrial stuff. And I amaze myself sometimes. It's not like I don't get tired, but just that I can do that at 72.
Reverse aging, man. It's so awesome. Yeah, you're like a total model of health, and so like you're gonna live a long, healthy life. You're gonna have a long, long, healthy life. So look out, world. Look out. Thank you. Well, we'll have question and answers in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more. I'm wondering if anyone else here has struggled with sleep. Maybe throw a 1 in the chat if you struggled with sleep, or if you would like to share about your sleep story. If you've have better sleep now and you want to share it, go ahead and let me know. You can hop on. And meanwhile, I will share a little bit about my own sleep. So with Hashimoto's autoimmune disorder of the thyroid, which I was diagnosed with almost 20 years ago. And I was sick for about 9 years, and it's now been over 10 years. It's been about 10 years since I've been healthy. So I guess it was 19 years ago that I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's. When it started getting really bad there towards the end, towards when I finally did find help, my sleep was very, very disturbed. So I would literally have hard time falling asleep, and I was so sensitive that if anyone, I would have this one little window where I could fall asleep, and if I started to fall asleep, I could fall asleep. But if someone interrupted me, like if my boyfriend turned on the light or a noise happened in the house, I'd be like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep, and I would literally freak out. I would have like a freak out episode. I'd be upset, I'd be angry, I'd be mad, I'd be mean to my partner, like, you interrupted my 1 minute I could get to sleep, now I'm gonna be up all night. And I would be like, I would be up like all night, and I would struggle to fall asleep, and then maybe I would fall asleep at 3. Finally, I'd be like, I'm finally so tired, I fall asleep at 3. And then I'd wake up at 5, and I was like, well, great, I had 2 hours of sleep, now I'm up at 5. And I would like kind of lay there till like 6 or 7, possibly just awake, and I'd finally just get up at like 6 or 7, like, well, I'm not sleeping, like that's not happening. And a lot of people I know who have autoimmune disorders tend to have that special hour at 3 a.m. where they wake up. Anyone can relate to that? Grace, I see you nodding head. Do you feel like sharing a little bit about your sleep experience? Because you also had Hashimoto's. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about that. I mean, long story short is I did this protocol, and I was instantly sleeping. That was like the beauty of it. And I'll let you go next, Grace. But I was instantly sleeping and feeling like really rested in the morning, and I would be able to sleep to like 7 a.m., which I loved. I was like, I can finally sleep in. I can like actually like sleep a full night. I could fall asleep at 10 and wake up at 7 and be like, oh, I'm good now. I'm totally good. So this protocol definitely helped me. Plus also all my other symptoms, energy loss, weight issues. I was 25 pounds overweight. I lost all that weight. My digestion also cleared. My bloating also disappeared. I mean, a lot of things changed for me. So yeah, this has been like an amazing experience. And one of the things that can also prevent people from sleeping is having toxic heavy metals, hormonal changes, having your Krebs cycle broken. And we'll get into that. But what I'd like to do now is go ahead and like bring my dear friend Grace, one of my besties in the whole world, and bring you on, girlfriend, all the way over there in North Carolina. Here I am in California. We get to like connect through Zoom.
I wasn't planning on sharing today, but I'm happy to because yeah, it's been really significant. So when I came across this protocol, I was 44. I was 2 years postpartum. I had had my one and only child at the age of 42. And from the time that I had my baby until the time that I found this protocol, I could almost cry talking about it. I did not sleep longer than a 1 2 hour stretch. So like the longest stretch of time that I slept for 2 years was 2 hours, like for 2 years. And so mentally I was, when you don't sleep, it's like everything is so much more difficult. I was also dealing with a Hashimoto's diagnosis. I had postpartum depression. I literally felt like I was in this hole and my new baby was out here, and I was always trying to like fill that gap with health and wellness, and it was a super challenge. So one of the things that happened for me when I started this protocol, many things happened for me, but since we're focusing on sleep, I'll share that I was finally able to get not a full night's sleep because I was breastfeeding my daughter, but when I would wake up, I would be able to fall back to sleep. And that was a complete game changer, like life changer for me, because I actually would wake up feeling well rested. Right. And so, I mean, the postpartum time is such a struggle anyway. And then, add the Hashimoto's to it and just, the depletion and then not sleeping on top of it. It is a recipe for disaster. It's part of the reason that a lot of couples don't make it through postpartum time is because everybody is so sleep deprived and nobody's talking about it. So that alone was a really big buoy for me. And the apothecary continues, I mean, the protocol in general, but for me, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I just go take a tablespoonful of apothecary, I will go back to sleep and I will dream. Like most of my really good, lucid, like medicinal kind of dreams happen in the morning. You know, if I've woken up to go to the bathroom and I take another tablespoon of apothecary, I will wake up feeling so good and I will have like the best, most colorful, active, deep, you know, dreams where I feel like I'm like getting into the stuff and like processing what needs to be processed in my psyche. So yeah, it's been amazing for me. And I also, with this protocol, released 60 pounds over the course of a couple years. And, you know, 12 pounds like out the gate in the first 30 days. So yeah, I just highly recommend it. And I found myself being curious when Gwyneth was talking of like, why does it work? Why does it so much better?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Grace. You're like such a hope for so many people. How many people, struggle with postpartum exhaustion and like hormonal imbalances and like can't play with their kids because they're so tired, which is what I saw you doing is like you were like, I'm sorry, I can't play today. I mean, like, which days can you play on? Kids want to play every day. And when you can't keep up with it, it's like that must be so sad and feel just like, so out of your control, but you did it. I mean, you're on the other side of it. And now how long have you been how long has it been since that first protocol?
So I did my first protocol in November of 2015.
Wow.
And it's been, yeah, so I've been
Been
with
on the
it.
daily products since then, on the daily superfoods. And like I see every summer you posting all these amazing adventures with you and your daughter. Like you totally keep up with her now. And she's a, almost a teen.
Yeah, it's crazy actually, because, you know, most of the people who had their children, you know, in my community around the same time are 10 years younger than me. And so I'm really, I don't know, it like sometimes I realize I'm like, wow, everybody I know is 10 years younger than me. And when I connect with a lot of people my own age, there are a lot of issues and problems and not being able to show up for what they want to show up for. So I'm totally grateful. I feel like I like reversed age 10 years.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you look so youthful. You just look so energized and yeah, it's super fun. Thank you
Mm.
for sharing your story. Actually going to get into that. I'm going to answer your question. Okay. So let's talk about why does this work? And let's talk about like what is needed when you're struggling with sleep. Obviously, a lot of people will take melatonin, which is not recommended because you can become hooked on melatonin and then after a while it doesn't really work. And it's much different if you have naturally occurring melatonin, which is in the actual cherry juice itself, like the cherry juice, which is the pot, the cherry juice is very helpful. It has naturally occurring melatonin and it's in the whole food. Like you want to have the entire food. The fruit comes with it, right? It's in the fruit. There must be other ingredients in the fruit that help activate it or make it work to some degree. So having the whole food is really important. Secondly, is a lot of times when people are struggling with sleep, what they're lacking, what they're having an issue with is heavy metals. Hi, puppies. Is heavy metals. This is my favorite doggy in the whole world. Hello, hello. And so the heavy metals is basically help also responsible for things like anxiety and also for constipation and different like digestive issues. So there's a lot of things that can indicate toxic heavy metals, and lack of sleep is one of them. Hey. So you really want to get those metals out of your body too. And so one of the things that is this 90-day protocol also does help with that. It's got spirulina, which is like the best at removing heavy metals, even better than chlorella. It actually removes it all the way out of the body. And it also has a lot of different vitamins and minerals that you need. It's considered a whole food. It's a superfood. And superfoods are foods that have like all the different vitamins and minerals and in one food. And so it's called a whole food because it has all of it. And different degrees for different superfoods. And then the barley green juice also helps kill off viral loads. It also helps with lifting heavy metals. It's an amazing superfood that its root grows like 90 feet deep into the soil. So it's literally can go like 60 feet, 90 feet. It can go really deep. And so it's pulling out minerals from every level, every layer of the soil, which is pretty incredible. And then it's also got all these amazing, the super meal also has all these different adaptogen. There's different shakes that you can choose from, but like the super meal has a lot of different adaptogenic herbs. And ginseng is one of them, rhodiola, eleuthero root, maca, all these things can help balance hormones, which is also helpful for energy, helpful for reducing the stress hormone, cortisol. The apothecary juice also helps with that. I'm going to show you guys all the products, so we'll talk about it. But basically, you know, it's helping create also your Krebs cycle, and your Krebs cycle is like how long you are asleep, right? So like, and whether your water is like retaining while you're sleeping, and that water, what's really amazing is that when you sleep, the apothecary juice also helps with retaining that moisture in your body, all that liquid in your body when you're sleeping. So when you're in the morning, when you have puffy eyes, you know what, that's a good sign, because that means you're actually retaining your water while you sleep instead of peeing it out throughout the night. And so that water holds in your body and it flushes. So your brain shrinks at night. If you got, you know, if your Krebs cycle is good, your brain's going to shrink at night, and it's going to like a sponge, it's going to wring out the toxins, and all those toxins go into the fluid that's now trapped in your body. So that fluid is now going through, washing out all the toxins from your brain, all the toxins from your cells, and going throughout your body. And then you urinate in the morning, right? First thing you do is you pee out all those toxins, right? And you pee and poop it all out. And so that's a good sign. That's your Krebs cycle working, like where you're at night, it's all like swishing and detoxing. And in the morning, you're like just getting it all out of your system. And so in the morning, that potassium is really helpful. That's why people like bananas are a morning food, because that potassium helps with the muscle, right? The peristalsis that actually like causes the poop to go out. Well, the cherry juice also helps with that. So drinking the cherry juice at night also helps with a good elimination in the morning. So if anyone struggles with constipation, that's going to help you regulate. And if you struggle with, if people struggle with diarrhea, all having healthy superfoods, having like all the good things in your body is going to help your body also regulate. So if you are struggling with the opposite, it can also help slow it down. Okay, so it's basically about reaching homeostasis through having all the proper nutrients in your body. So I'm going to actually show my screen, and you guys can see, that way I can go over it a little bit more. Here in the lifestyle transformation page, you can see that you can choose from these different ones. So I always recommend the ULT Plus Immune. It is my favorite one. I pretty much just unanimously like always choose this one. And this is what comes in the first 30 days. You get a free blender, you get all these things. This is your greens, your fruits, and your protein. So your protein, fruits, vegetables, and then you also get your Biomedic, which is your probiotic that removes glyphosate as well as other toxins. It also helps reduce inflammation, pain in the body. It also restores your villi, so you absorb more nutrients. So this is sort of like your gut health base so that everything else works better. You've got your super cleanser herbs, which also sweep out the colon. This also kills parasites. So when people have a lot of fat in their diet, animal products, dairy, eggs, all that stuff. So what happens is like that fat will accumulate in the intestines and create a mucoid plaque. And parasites love mucoid plaque. They love to hide out in there. That is like, ooh, it's so nice and oily and hard and funky and gross in here. Like, let's hang out. Right. So the super cleanser herbs are going to like sweep out that mucoid plaque, going to like help sweep out that colon and help clean it out so the parasites don't have any place to live. Right. Plus, it's also going to kill the parasites with the different things like wormwood. It's an Ayurvedic blend. So it's an herbal blend, a healthy herbal blend that's actually going to help also kill the parasites and pathogens in the body. And then you've got the zinc aid, which I highly recommend for everyone, especially with in the winter when there's like flu seasons, if people are scared of COVID, whatever, you know, kind of things that bugs you might get, this is going to help ward against it. So the zinc is really crucial for killing viruses. The C, obviously, like everyone, you can never have like enough vitamin C basically. And then most people are deficient in zinc as well as vitamin D. So this has vitamin A, D, and E in it. And this is just an amazing formula. It's a, you know, whole food zinc. which is the best way to take your zinc. So this is really an incredible pack right here. And so this is your first 30 days. This is 60 of your meals in the first 30 days, like 60 of your meals. And how often do we buy 60 meals all up front? I mean, this is like saving you time in the kitchen. This is going to save you money. This is a way to save money. In fact, I was so sick that I was like, honestly, I lived in my car for a few months, and this was like the least expensive way I could find to eat. So even as a homeless person, I'm like, this is the way, like $2.50 for a meal. But this is incredibly nutrient dense. This is organic. The super aminos are plant-based protein, so you get the protein without having to worry about getting all the oils and fats that cause mucoid plaque. So this gives your liver a break. So this whole thing is also a liver cleanse. So this cleans out the liver. This helps kill parasites. This is just like an overall detox, but it's also just straight up food, and it's tasty and it's filling. And if you're ever worried about cravings, like most people are afraid of, oh no, like I have to give things up. Don't worry. Like you don't have to give stuff up. Just put this in and your cravings will naturally fall away. You'll stop craving sweets. You know, when you have things like any kind of viral loads or any kind of pathogens or parasites in the body, they're the ones craving all that sugar. They're like, stay, keep me alive. Like I want all that, you know, processed food and processed sugar. They're like wanting to live. But when you give good foods to your body, those things start to disappear, and then your cravings start to go away because you don't have those buggers in your body. They're like demanding the wrong kinds of food. So they're not sitting there like, give me sugar. So it's really a lot easier. We do subtraction by addition. So we add the good stuff in, naturally they fall away. And it's a really amazing price. It's only $13 a day. $13 a day. That's 2 meals plus all of your superfoods plus this blender, and you get to have all this a meal and superfoods twice a day. So for $6.50, you have a meal and your supplements, and you're good, and you get that twice a day. So, and then you get to enjoy snacks throughout the day. You can have apples, you can have fruit, you can have salad, you can have, and then in the evening you can have, or whichever meal you choose, you can have at least 1 meal a day that's like a nice clean and green meal. So if you want to eat with your family, this is really easy. It makes it really easy to like enjoy food with your family and still be getting the cleansing benefits. So yeah, the retail value on this is actually right down here. The retail value is $5.30, but you know, whoever invited you to this, you're going to get $103 off, $133 off. So you get 25% off. This is your first pack, the first month. You can just click get started today, and then you can customize it, and you can get it shipped automatically every month. So it's really, really easy. You don't have to think about it. It comes right to your door. It's going to save you time at the grocery store. And you customize here. Would you like to customize? You just click that link right there. And then you can choose, I choose super cleanser herbs. You can choose the cleanser. I recommend the super cleanser herbs. If you think you might be allergic to any of those, then you can choose a chlorella. And then I recommend just leaving the 2 of the power shakes, and then the bottom 2, change those to super meal. Super meal original and super meal vanilla chai. I recommend getting 2 of those. And you can also customize month 2 and 3. So month 2 and 3, it goes down $30. And then month 4, you get to customize. I would just do 1 of each shake, maybe 1 super meal, 1 power shake. And this is like half the protocol. But you can also change this protocol. If you love the ULT, you want to stay on this pack, you can definitely do that. So that's what I recommend. If you customize it and you want this super meal shake, it's just like a few dollars more. But you get to choose whether you want to just get the power shake or the super meal or the dark berry. You can choose, but we'll help you choose. You don't have to worry about it. We're here to help if you need support figuring it out. And whoever invited you will, definitely help you. But with that, I'd love to, just thank everyone. And I want to open up to questions. And I also want to just, make a statement that, this is something that I've been doing for the last 10 years because it helped me transform my health. And now I'm like passionate about helping others. So if you think that might be you and you might be passionate about helping others too, you're welcome to inquire about becoming an affiliate. We can definitely share with you how you can get a kickback. Or if you wanted to just become a health coach, we're always looking for more health coaches, and we can, we do training and stuff like that and help you. But what I want to do right now is to say thank you, Glenna. Thank you, Grace. Thank you for sharing your stories. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm on such a bouncy table. But definitely we're here for you guys. We've got Facebook groups, we've got recipes, we've got all different, you can enjoy food while you're on this protocol. You can definitely enjoy life and enjoy food. So don't be discouraged. You can actually have fun while doing this. It's going to save you time and energy and money. So with that, I will just go ahead and stop the video and we'll go to questions and answers. Thank you all for joining.